everyone, and welcome back to another
Okay.
episode of Vegans Across the World. Today, we are in Armenia, and we are with Alisa. Am I saying your name right, Alisa? Great.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for being here. You're in Yerevan, and I want to show the audience where you're at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and give a little bit of information about your area, and we'll go from there. So there is your red dot on the map. That's where you are. We're going to close up, and you are in Yerevan, Armenia. So, some facts about your area. Armenia is home to the world's oldest winery. It was the first nation to adopt Christianity. Yerevan is called the land of churches because of that, I think, or well, because you have a lot of churches. They are top ranking chess players, which is interesting. And in 1915, 1.5 million Armenians were systematically exterminated in a genocide. Now, there's some contention about this. Some people call it a Holocaust. And Seb Alex, who is a well known vegan activist, actually does a video on this because he himself is Armenian. So there are thought to be some 5.6 million people of Armenia descent abroad, which is greater than the population of Armenia itself, which came from that genocide. Yerevan is one of the world's oldest capitals. It's also known as the Pink City because of the rosy volcanic rock used to construct many of the city's buildings. Armenia has the longest nonstop double-track cable car. Did you know that?
No.
Now you know.
Thank
And
you.
it is home to 345 of Europe's estimated 530 bird species, and it has a population of about 3 million people. So what I'll do now is stop sharing my screen. And what I want to do now is, Alisa, I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself. For example, what do you do and what kind of activism are you involved in?
I am Yerevan, the chapter organizer of AV, Anonymous for the Voiceless. I organize Cube of Truths, and I'm the outreacher.
I
I
have
joined the Cube.
I was going to say I have actually seen your posts, and you're very, very active. You do some great work out there. But go ahead.
Currently, I like to my hanging out goes along with running a cube. For example, if I have free time, if I have a free day, first of all, I make sure I run a cube and then hang out. And my friends are vegan, so I only hang out with vegans. I cannot tolerate anyone canceling what I do in front of me. Like I fight for animal rights and they cancel right in front. I have zero tolerance to that. So yeah, I joined Anonymous for the Voiceless, Cube of Truth, years back. Back then, the organizer was different. I began as an outreacher. Then, as years passed, the organizer quit. I took the position, and I love doing it. That's the strict activism that I do. But apart from that, I'm also active on the social medias, on Facebook and on Instagram. I share a lot of vegan and animal cruelty content and try to educate people in my friends list and on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, also when I see advertisements of meat companies, I make sure I leave comments and I leave images of murder. When it's just the meat body part, I make sure I leave in the comment section. Like it's recently I found out that it's like really affordable means of activism, because that sponsored publication is going viral. People get to see, and they see the comment right away, and it's your
Yeah.
comment. Do you know what I mean? It's already
Yes.
a sponsored post.
Yeah. That's a great idea. So you're very passionate.
Yeah,
You're
and
very active. How old are you? Do you mind me asking?
I'm 28.
28.
No,
You
please.
look you look much younger.
Yeah,
You're doing well.
thank you.
So
Well, vegan, plant-based.
so where are you originally from? Are you originally from Yerevan? Am I saying Yerevan right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Are
I
you
am from there.
originally?
I was
Okay.
born and raised. Part of my life, part of my childhood went in India. But yeah, I am original from Yerevan.
Okay. And so tell us a little bit about what the culture and the food is like where you are. Obviously, a lot of times food has a lot to do with culture, but tell us about it.
People here and myself, my previous self, love to eat animal flesh barbecue and yeah, barbecue kebabs. A lot of meat, carnism is here.
Yeah.
And most of the national cuisine dishes are made of, yeah, well, to such an extent that before starting the cube, and during the first cube, we the organizers and the cubers were a little skeptical of how people would perceive it, because knowing the food culture here, yeah, there was a little skepticity. But once we began, we understood that people actually know no different than any other people in any other countries.
Okay.
Their responses are more or less the same.
Okay. So, how long have you been vegan?
4+ years. It was
Great. Now,
2017.
okay. So, what made you do the switch? What flipped that switch for you? What happened?
I had recently, back then, 2017, I had recently graduated my master's, and I was studying scholarship. So when you're with a scholarship, you just focus on your study and get good grades. So when
Yeah.
I had done with my education, formal education, there was a pause in my life and a feeling of emptiness. Like, okay, now what? Because I had applied because my parents had told me apply, and I applied. So when I
Applied to
finished
what? I'm sorry. Applied to
my
what?
to university,
Oh, okay.
and I
Sorry.
graduated my master's, and I was so focused because I was with a scholarship. I didn't wanted to lose that. And once I had done with that, there was a big pause in my life. I needed a pause, and there was a feeling of emptiness also. I started questioning a lot of stuff, and at those times also, my Facebook friends were quite active, posting the slaughterhouse footage. I also watched a lot of speeches. Now I'm not ashamed to say this, because I know a lot of people are in that state right now. At that time, I didn't know that, for example, cow produces milk because she's a mother, not because she's a cow. And I heard one of the activists say this, and that was a little shocking to me because my whole life I knew that okay, she's a cow, and cows are animals who produce milk.
Yeah. You know what?
That
You're not the
and
only
yeah,
one. You're not the only one. So many of us were just took it for granted our whole lives that cows just give milk. I was one of them. And I was like, oh my God. When I realized, I was like, oh my God, of course, she's a mammal. She has to be pregnant.
this basic knowledge, this basic truth was like
Yeah,
was not there for us.
exactly. We were
And
conditioned to not even think about that, not even consider the reasons for her giving milk, you know?
yeah, and at those times also I like to think about myself like I'm a victim. I like to think about how many problems I have in my life, and think about my luck. Why does the life have to be so difficult for me? But once I realized in what situation other individuals are, I realized how privileged I am actually, and I rethought, I reevaluated my life, and right there on, my life gained a whole new meaning, very important meaning. And I thought like I'm beginning a mission. I dug into documentaries, I watched, and I also saw and cried many nights. I couldn't sleep. A new reality was exposed.
Definitely. That's very well said. Very well said. I think that I probably went through the same thing when I found out things as I was finding them out. Everything I found out, I didn't get mad at the messenger. I got mad that I had been conditioned all my life and realizing it and realizing how much I had been lied to all my life. And I started to realize I am not the victim here. I'm not the victim. I mean, I was mad at how I'd been conditioned, but it made me want to take control, you know, because I wasn't the real
Also,
victim.
a funny thing I'll tell you. When I was still in my school days in the university, I used to scroll on these anti-vegan posts and the jokes, and not knowing, not having discovered the vegan side, and I would even laugh at those jokes, you
Yeah,
know. And they were dumb jokes. Now I know, of course, but
sure.
without having the right knowledge, they seemed really funny to me. And I was actually one of them who I joined them in a mockery
Yeah,
because I didn't have the full message, the vegan message.
I think a lot of us are
And
guilty of
yeah, just
that. So,
because I didn't know what actually veganism is about, and I came to know about just how they portrayed it to be. And I laughed, but once I came across the truth and what it actually is, I I couldn't stay indifferent, and it really moved a lot in me.
so I want to ask you: are any of your family or friends vegan? We already told me that you now have uh, a circle of friends that are vegan. But what about your family? Are they vegan?
No, they're not vegan. Uh, through the three stages of truth, I was first when I first started to become vegan. I was not so well armed, and they started ridiculing. And then when I educated myself on that, I tried to outreach them also. And they still try to ridicule and bring all sorts of arguments, excuses. And then I let some time and tried to reach them again. And at the last phase, they, but still, like after
They
honesty, when you expect some behavioral changes, they haven't occurred.
Yeah, well, I think it's the same the world over, no matter who you talk to. that our families are the hardest to reach, and we all have that difficulty. There's some kind of wall there that causes this, and some people have gotten through it, but it's a rarity. It seems that we are able to to reach people that are strangers easier on the streets than our own families. And it's very frustrating, but it's a shared problem. Hopefully, one day we'll figure out that psychology. You know.
Yeah, one thing I like to is that the world doesn't start and end with my family members. There are many people out there that have come to that level of their life that are receptive and need their information. Why not reach them instead? Also, I had to refresh and renew my environment, my surrounding, and my friends, my company, because I tried to reach them also, and they ridiculed. And at those times, I was just a beginner. I hadn't have the stamina to like bear that ridiculing. I
Sure.
just blocked them, and I just never met them again.
What is it that you do? What do you do now? You're out of university, right? So what's your profession now?
I work as in a bookmaker's company, uh, live support.
Okay.
It's a gaming company. I just like use it for as a source of income to invest in my ideas in what I wanted because it's a capitalism. Like you have to work for
Yeah.
income.
Yeah, we all have to do that. So let me ask you. You said your family isn't vegan, but now that you've been vegan for 4+ years, right? What do even though they're not vegan, what do they think of your veganism?
They, of course, admit they don't have to voice it out, but I know they admit that I'm doing the right thing, and they still they don't have to admit, they don't have to show it in any ways, but I get it that they admire, they have some admiration that I'm doing the right thing, and maybe can't or they don't have the enough courage just to me, but like maybe a little difficult for them. Yeah, that's what I feel.
So they admire
I
your
feel
activism.
like they have some admiration. Yeah, and also the place where I work, thousands of people work there, and people. I try to also um, be kind of a walking billboard of what veganism is because there's so many less vegans here, let alone activists here. And yeah, I go to the gym and try to. Um, Also, when we have group chats, also I post my profile pictures would all on Viber, for example, would always be like a slaughterhouse footage, so that when
Yeah.
I reply in the group chat, they say, "Oh, who is that? What's that image?" And they go in it and see the image. And
Yeah.
also people at my workplace who are receptive and come up to me, talk about, ask me about veganism. Of course, I explain to them, but I never be pushing on my in my workplace. I always let them approach me.
So let me ask you, would you say it's easy or hard to be vegan where you live?
It's easy. It's very easy.
Okay.
It's just like when you imagine, when you get the message, when you get why you're doing it, when you understand what the victims go through, a little bit of research, a little bit of ingredient and label reading is not is only going to educate you and make help you be the better. It's just like from the start, and then it's automized. You go really quick reading the ingredients
Yeah.
and also knowing where to get vegan food, restaurants, cafes, which cafe serves them. It's automized later. It's just the first steps, first efforts. Very easy. And here we don't have so much of vegan processed foods. Also, we have imported, mainly imported vegan plant-based milk, and yeah, other things also, but not so much. So here, there's also a very less likelihood for people to go obese. It's if you turn vegan in Armenia, since there are not so many vegan options in the supermarket, processed alternatives I'm talking about. You're basically basing your diet on whole foods, so it's even healthier.
Yeah, and does the Armenian diet already base itself on whole foods anyway?
We have a lot of whole food alternatives here, and these foods are really accessible, affordable, and cheap. And during the summer, during a warm season, the prices get really low, and it's super affordable and healthy. No excuses to not be vegan here.
That's great. Now, what about things like shampoos and makeups and leather alternatives? Do you have any of those?
Leather alternatives we have, of course, shampoos. Yes, I think we should be having, since I'm not a shampoo lover. I tend to use natural means. I
Okay.
haven't done so much of, but makeup, yes, makeup, yes. Not so many, but I think Oriflame is vegan, not tested on animals, and also does not contain. We have this option here. Sort of use so much of makeup. I maybe use zero makeup. I just put lipstick sometimes.
Yeah.
I have to say that I haven't done that much of research to give you an accurate answer on this,
Yeah.
but I am sure there will be vegan options on shampoos and
I was mainly
just to,
asking
yeah.
because if people travel there and they're on vacation or whatever, and they need to go to the store and find like personal hygiene products, if those are available when you're traveling and
Mm,
stuff like that.
it's better to take it with them, or I haven't done the research, frankly.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You're a minimalist.
We have yeah, yeah, I am. And we have a lot of well-known brands here. The brands that seem to have maybe that have ditched animal testing, don't include animal ingredients in them. They are easy to find here.
That's great. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with being a minimalist. I tell you, when I travel, I am a minimalist myself. Even actually in my real life, I have a few staples for my personal hygiene products that happen to be vegan. And but yeah, to be honest with you, the only time I really wear makeup is when I'm on my YouTube channel. And that's just because the lighting is really bad. It's really bad on me if I'm not wearing makeup. So, but other than that,
Well,
I'm
I
not
don't have
looking at
loads.
myself. Other than that, I don't
I
really
don't
look
have.
at myself. So, so
By the way,
you're
you
saying,
look great, Stacy.
thank you. It's all the makeup. So when
Really,
I'm,
really.
you look fabulous, and obviously you have no makeup on, and it looks great. So, little jealous of that, but I want to ask you. Um, you said that it's easy to be vegan where you live. If you want to be vegan,
Sure.
it's easy to do that. But as a vegan, what are your struggles
Struggles with people or finding the
in
products I
general?
need.
In general, what are your struggles being a vegan in Armenia?
Before, my struggles would be I would get attacked so many times
You'll get what?
because people know you're doing. I would be attacked so many
Okay,
times with arguments. Like
sure.
I might have not accepted it. How to say? I wouldn't be expecting it, but like all of a sudden, people would come up with on me with their arguments, with their questions. Uh, most of most of the times they would be silly questions just to like help me. But then once I educated myself, equipped myself with all the counter arguments, and dug deep into the logical fallacies that they usually use. That my struggle was mainly that, but like mm, s- since I began doing it, my brain would work like 24/7 in that direction, and yeah, that's no longer a struggle for me. If people came hunting for me, hunting for them because I want to spread the messages as far
Yeah.
and wide. But other than that, no, I don't think there are any struggles as vegan. Even when I
Yeah.
go to the
So
cafes and I ask for vegan options, I always use the right vocabulary, like what dishes are there that don't include animals. I don't use the word meat so much. Uh, I don't use it at all. I just say animals,
yeah.
so that even the workers who who serve, they get some clue what veganism is about.
So do you have any vegan restaurants or cafes there?
Yeah, there's one vegan restaurant that is almost fully vegan. I before they used to serve honey, but then I told them that honey is not vegan. I think they're still using honey in one or two cookies. Um, that
That's
one,
great.
but
That's great that you
other
told
than
them.
that, yeah, of course. They know me vegan, and when I discovered them, I introduced myself that I'm vegan and animal rights activist, of course, and I had to touch upon honey.
That's great. I love that.
But other than that, a lot of cafes that have vegan options, even those cafes that haven't labeled vegan in their menus, still they have plant ingredients, plant ingredient dishes. People just have to like read and ask.
So you can find it when you go out to eat. You can find vegan dishes, whether the cafe or restaurant is vegan themselves. You can still find um, something to eat when you go out.
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
So how how did people? You told us a little bit at the beginning because you are an activist. How do people view animal rights where you live? What's the kind of reception? You said in general it's kind of would be the same anywhere else. People are open.
Depends. Most of the people are not ready to receive the vegan message, or they just don't care. Why? I discovered this because recently, when I run cubes, I purposely put the cube in a crowded place to have more bystanders come and have conversation. But turns out to be like the crowd is, the more they seem to be uncaring.
The
Like
bigger the crowd.
really, yeah. During the cubes, the bigger the crowd is, the less they're interested in
I
approaching.
have found that to be true myself. Our bigger crowds, for example, like if I went outside of a sports event or any kind of concert, because you want to get more people to show them, but they become a mom mentality. It's more of a like because they're coming with a group of friends or they're drinking or and you get mocked more. You get actually they close off more. Whereas I found even the smaller cubes to be more engaging, where people feel more free. They're not with others that are going to pull them away when you're talking to them or are going to discourage you listening. And they are more open to one-on-one conversations. So that's a good message for people out there that are discouraged about having a small cube or having, not a lot of foot traffic is that having a large cube or a lot of foot traffic like in New York might be great. But in smaller towns, it might be better to have a smaller cube, to have less foot traffic, because you actually are going to have more quality conversations than quantity. So if a vegan, oh no, I skipped a question here. I want to ask you, what is your favorite form of activism? It sounds like you're very active, doing different things with the cube, online stuff like that. But what is your favorite form of activism?
I love talking to people in face to face, and my profession is also a communication specialist, and I'm a linguist. Um, I enjoy speaking to people, and the more I speak, the more I feel need to speak. Like I feel like I'm doing that every day, and that's why sometimes when there are no responding to the events, for example, I like recently I just did it with a tripod. Uh,
You did it with
with
what?
cubers, but like I have to speak. I just did it with a tripod stand, computer and me and a mask on my arm.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're saying you did it solo.
So low.
Solo, just
I did it on
you.
a tripod stand.
You a tripod.
Um, yeah, solo.
Okay. Yeah.
hmm
By yourself. Yes.
I wish I could record it. I wish I had enough team to record me while I'm doing the outreach so that I can upload it on the social medias and it can get a wider audience. Yeah, I think I'm a really good outreacher. It's just I haven't recorded it so far.
So what do you need? You just need another person to show up, or you need the equipment, or both?
Uh, the equipments are not a big deal. It's just the another person videoing me on the camera.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
let me ask you, if a vegan visits where you live, where should they go? And that doesn't have to be a restaurant. I'm just meaning in general. Where do you think they should go if a vegan visits?
For vegan visits, sightseeing, yeah,
If a vegan is
uh,
traveling through
places to
Armenia
see.
or Yerevan, where do you think that
Mm.
they should visit? Where would be your favorite place? It could be a restaurant. It doesn't have to be a restaurant, though.
Unfortunately, I don't know any sanctuaries. There are sanctuaries and cats, but not for the animals that we've classified as food.
There are
Not
sanctuaries
sheep,
there.
not goat. No, unfortunately not. There are sanctuaries for dogs and cats, but
Okay.
not for the animals that we've classified as food.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would really recommend those places.
Yeah. Of course.
Other than that, maybe, uh, yeah, there is one cafe that I always go to because I've shared a lot with them of the vegan philosophy, the animal rights, and they all fully agree, almost fully agree, because they started off for health reasons. But then I introduced because they also call themselves vegan to their customers. And if you're calling yourself vegan, you have to be aligned with the vegan. I made sure I talked to them about animal rights and really pleasant people working there, really receptive and always in for change, good change. And that's Dr. Veggie. It's just the honey that just in one or maximum two cookies. I've also I've mentioned that in the Happy Cow also, that awesome place just uses honey also, so that vegans are aware of
Yeah,
that.
and they think
Yeah,
they're
happy
vegan,
hunting.
but it's diet based. They don't realize that that's plant based. It doesn't mean you're vegan. It just because veganism is far more than your diet. So that's good that you're
Exactly.
educating them.
I have one policy, one of the main policies in my activism is like lifelong education. Why? Because I know I was uneducated before, and I was also on the mocking side. So if I take education as the main policy, keep educating, um, without taking any offenses, that's going to really have results, bring results.
Yeah, and they say be the be the outreacher that you wish you had known or had talked to you, or be the vegan you wish you had met before you went vegan. And it takes all kinds, because I know I needed somebody to be with the facts in my face. So that's the type that I am. There's other people that need a gentler approach, but that's why we need all approaches. And really, um, I don't criticize people as so long as they're putting the message out there. I don't criticize their style.
Yes, we can be gentle without having to compromise the truth.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite vegan dish that people should try if they come to Armenia?
There is one national dish that is vegan. It's called Jingelo Huts. I think it has almost like 14 or 20 or even more greens inside. It's kind of bread roll, lavash we say, and it has thick. It should be, it has a thick layer of greens, of many greens inside. It's called Jingelo Hut. It's the national dish, and it's vegan.
I'm sorry,
And
what is it
also the
called?
place that I
What is it called?
Jingelo
It's
Huts.
Jengala Huts. Did I
Jingelo
mess up?
Huts.
Okay. I'm not even
That
going to
was
try
similar.
again.
Our language is really difficult. Really long words we have. And they will figure it out while chewing and while eating the Jingelo Huts, and they will always associate greens with bread with that Jingelo Huts, and the term will come on its own.
It sounds delicious. I mean, I would love to try that. If maybe send me a recipe.
Yeah, I will definitely.
That would
I'm
be
not much
awesome.
into cooking, but I will. And also the place that I said, the Dr. Reggie, that are of almost fully aligned with the vegan message. They like to create veganized dishes. They veganize dolma. Oh, we also have pastos dolma that is plant based, and people have it while fasting, Christian fasting. They have pastos dolma. It has legumes and beans inside. But also the place that Dr. Reggie recreates and veganizes the dishes, dumplings, for example, lean cheeks, and other stuff that are usually made of animal flesh here, and they veganize all this stuff. They have awesome cakes also.
They
Cakes
have what?
vegan cookies
Uh,
and cakes.
that's awesome. That's great. So maybe we could share a link to them. So any links that you share with me will be below the video. People check it out, and maybe we could even share that restaurant, and some people can reach out to them and go, "Hey, stop using honey." Okay,
Right.
so
Actually, when I visit them the next time, I will bring that up again.
so finally, where would you like to visit one day? No, no. You know what? I forgot to ask you. If people come to Armenia, how can they get involved with the local vegan community there?
I think maybe search Yerevan chapter of AV, um, and because that is uh, the only international organization working here, and yeah, I guess that
So
would be
contact
the number
you
one.
or find your AV chapter by going to cubittruth.com.
Yeah.
You can search the groups, or we'll also leave a link below. And yeah, they can get involved. Definitely. So finally, I want to ask you, where would you like to visit one day and learn about veganism there? Have you traveled outside of Armenia much?
Yes, I have.
Have you?
My
Have you?
childhood was. I grew up in India,
Yeah, you told us
and
that.
I traveled to Zimbabwe. Yeah.
But where have
Yeah.
you
Of course,
maybe
I.
not? I'm sorry. Where have you maybe not been that you're interested in going and finding about veganism there?
I'm thinking of a place that is least exposed to veganism, and definitely not Western countries because I know it's a really people are activists are really doing a great job there. Um, Maybe some
See,
Caucasus area. Like I have been to Turkey, but I during my trip I was with a company. We had to do stuff together, and I couldn't come out of that routine. But I wonder how it is in Azerbaijan, um, our
and those are
bordering
countries that are on
country. That
either side of you, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and we're not in a good political relationship with each other. But
With
I'm
Azerbaijan either. I read about that. As a matter of fact, that's a little fun fact that I left out at the beginning is that I heard that the Armenian flag actually looks like the flag of Colombia upside down because by chance Shakira did a concert in Azerbaijan and made a major faux pas by walking out on to the stage with the Colombian flag, her flag, upside down, and it looked like the Armenian flag, and that was very upsetting.
mm,
Did you hear about
yeah,
that?
they're like no, but I know they are. Yes, and I'd like to go travel to Caucasus countries, for example, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, to such to these countries, Caucasus countries, and see what vegan how successful veganism is there, and also to participate in cubes if there are any. Yes, Mongolia also. I think it's Caucasus country.
Well, I can definitely get you in touch with a couple of vegans in Mongolia that I would like them to start a Cube of Truth, and I think they are interested in doing that. As a matter of fact, one of the guys participated. I think he said he was in Romania or Hungary, or Poland. I can't remember now, but they're great guys, and yeah, I could get you in touch with them. You can get them started. Show them how to do a Cube of Truth.
Yes, why not?
That
Also
would be
like their
fun.
posts, give them some. Yeah, I want to show them some online support.
That would be awesome. They're wonderful guys, incredible guys. I loved them so much. Everybody loved them. They're very funny too. So, okay. So, Alisa, thank you so much. That's all my questions. Is there anything you would like to add about being vegan in Armenia before we sign off here?
I I just know I am, if not, but the one of the most active vegans here, animal rights activists. And one thing that I really look forward and I hope for, and I I know that they will come, and I think I want as soon as possible, is that a lot of people become like me, speak out the truth, and speak out for the voiceless, speak out for those who really need that. Because as you said, as you said, and we are a nation, who's experienced genocide, and of course during the wars also, this happens to continue. I just want my people to realize that we can't complain about genocide while genociding animals.
Yeah, that's a powerful message. That is a powerful message we need to listen to. So I really thank you for hanging in there, even though we had some difficulties with the connection. I hope that everyone out there has enjoyed hearing your story as much as I have. I think you're an incredible activist, and I'm so appreciative, and I'm sure the animals would appreciate all that you're doing where you're at. I hope that your chapter grows, that people hear your message, and that it just becomes stronger there. And anybody that travels to your area, I hope that they will find you and get active with you and, yeah, see Armenia through vegan eyes. So, okay. So, everybody, since we're getting a good connection right this moment, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight to Alisa. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please look up any information that's below the video. Like, subscribe, share, comment on this video. And if you want to know who I'm having next week, you'll just have to show up for that. So, Alisa, say goodnight to everybody with me. This is how I do it. Love ya.
Thank you for reaching out to me, Stacy. Thank you for organizing this live stream and this video chat. Thank you so much for
Thank you for
activism,
being
because
here.
you're also animal rights activist, and I know. Thank you.
Thank you, Alisa. I appreciate it so much. You have a great night. Okay, I know it's getting late for you, so I'll let you go.
Thank you.
Bye bye now.